on here. I mean, it's expensive to get here.
Hmm.
It's off of the tourist trail. There's not much of that your expectation would be of the things that you would get out of an Asian travel experience. Because of that, it's largely untouched by travelers. It's pristine. It's the nature areas are just incredible. The traveling's great times. You get immediate access to the locals, which is like nothing else that you could experience in the rest of Asia. I mean, you're plugged right in. Everybody speaks English. That's a national language here.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, what you do see here in terms of the scene is that you see some real business going on here because there's some big time business opportunities. And so, I mean, the expat scene is very different than in the rest of Asia. You have a very large percentage of the expats that are here to retire or to hang out or be scuba divers or something like that. And then you have a very small but very unique set of expats that are doing big business because you can actually do that here.
I'm not sure I'm totally picking up what you're putting down. Is it a shithole, or is it not a shithole? And you learned later that it wasn't as bad as you thought.
It's not as bad as I thought. My expectations were that like this was going to be like Thailand but less tourists.
Okay.
I mean, or Vietnam but less tourists. I wasn't prepared for it to not be Asia.
Okay.
Or it's tough to say. I mean, it's just so not like the Southeast Asian route, which is like where my traveling, which is so I'm used to that. Like I just expected more of that.
Right.
And I've been learning a whole other set of pleasures to enjoy here in the Philippines. A whole other set of things that are wonderful about this place, especially things like the access, the English. The lack of tourism is great.
So,
It's
are there
really
more
nice.
upsides or more downsides? Do you regret the move, or do you think it was, in retrospect, it was the right move to make?
Well, for me, Rob, I'm always moving around. I'm
Hmm.
constantly still moving around. So I don't feel like I've committed to the Philippines anyway. I mean, I've got a bunch of employees here, and so I'm hanging out with them. And then, I move around to other countries quite a bit and stuff like that. So I don't regret it at all. I mean, it's been a wonderful experience here. I think that I'm going to spend quite a bit more time here. I guess like I'm so ambivalent about it. I don't. Most people aren't as ambivalent. Most people that are here love it here. So just to give
Do
you
you think
that.
that that's something within your personality? Are you kind of like ambivalent about where you go, or is it this particular place that you're ambivalent about?
No, I think that's my personality.
Okay.
I think like I'm a born contrarian and a bit of a head case, so I'm gonna go back and forth about things all the time. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So, what do you wish that someone had told you about living in the Philippines before you arrived? So, in other words, let's say somebody's listening to this and going, "Yeah, I heard good things. I'm going to give it a shot." What do they need to know?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing is that there's not much of a peer group here. I mean, a lot of the people that are listening to this, I'm assuming, are sort of looking at like your blog and like
Hmm.
the kind of the jet set,
Hmm.
like Cody's blog and Sean's blog and all this kind of stuff. It's not quite the same here. Like that scene doesn't exist, and the reason is that Westerners like me and you and Cody, like they're not here,
Hmm.
and so like you kind of have to develop your own scene in the
But they
Philippines. There
would be
is
in
no scene.
Bangkok.
Exactly. Yeah, Bangkok, even places like I mean, there's a lot more Westerners of that age group in like Saigon. Hanoi is a great place. All throughout Thailand, even in Cambodia, there's more of like that kind of like laptop internet marketer culture. Whereas here, it's there's not a lot of that going on.
So let's talk a little bit about your actual lifestyle living there. I know you said that you're on the beach and you're looking out at the water as we speak, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. So how much? Give me a little snapshot. If I sort of like looked around your place right now, what would I see? Would I see like a bungalow, an apartment building?
I'm on a beautiful tiled patio with a nipa hut roof, and we are on one of the most. It's a typhoon safe harbor. It's a national park. It's gorgeous, all green. We've got about 25 yachts. There's a lot of yachties, and there's like two or three little teeny bars on the pier here that the yachties come in and hang out on. It's a very secluded spot. The only kind of tourists that come here are primarily scuba divers. Some of the largest, the Verde Island Passage has the largest biodiversity in the world. So it's one of the greatest spots to scuba dive on the planet.
And how much per month does that cost you?
If you wanted to like be a live-in at a resort here, you could probably live pretty well for. You'd have a hard time spending more than $700 a month,
So
unless you were maybe scuba diving all the time.
okay, and the equivalent in San Diego would cost you.
Maybe it depends what kind of car you drive.
Yeah.
If you can manage the car, maybe 1,500 to 2,000. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So you're
You get
saving.
about 3 times.
It's about 3 times the money. So do you find that, let me figure out the best way to ask this question. You're in this beautiful place. You got all this great scenery around you, and you have to spend a portion of your time, I suppose, inside in a coffee shop or in your apartment there on Wi-Fi. Do you find that there's a struggle for you because it's so beautiful outside and want to be a part of the outside? Is it difficult for you to get to work? And if it's not difficult for you to get to work, do you find that you actually do the opposite and work too much and don't really enjoy it?
I've had both problems. Like I've kind of swung back and forth. It is very easy to, when you're in this culture, to have work creep,
Mm-hmm.
where like sort of more conventional lifestyles sort of give you a format, for your life. And like now, like I got to go visit the in-laws, and I got to go to the in, like I got to go
The
in-laws, and I got to go to the in, like I got to go
the
in-laws, and I got to go to the in, like I got to go
the
in-laws, and I got to go to the in, like I got to go
the
in-laws, and I got to go to the in, like I got to go
the
in-laws, and I got to go to the like I got to go
stew
in-laws, and I got like I got to go
stew
in-laws, and I got like I got to go
stew
in-laws, and I got like I got to go
stew
in-laws, and I got like I got to go
stew
in-laws, and I got like I got to go
stew
in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got yachties, like I got to go in-laws, and I got yachties, like I got to go in-laws, and I got yachties, like I got to go in-laws, and I got yachties, like I got to go in-laws, and I got yachties, like I got to go in-laws, and I got nat, like I got to go in-laws, and I got nat, like I got to go in-laws, and I got nat, like I got to go nat, in-laws, and I got nat, like I got to go nat, in-laws, and I got nat, like I got to go nat, in-laws, and I got
low
like I got to go
building
in-laws, and I got
low
like I got to go
building
in-laws, and I got
low
like I got to go
building
in-laws, and I got
low
like I got to go
building
in-laws, and I got
low
like I got to go
building
in-laws, and I got
low
like I got to go
feet wide
in-laws, and I got
feet wide
like I got to go
feet right
in-laws, and I got
feet wide
like I got to go
feet wide
in-laws, and I got
feet right
like I got to go
feet wide
in-laws, and I got
feet wide
like I got to go
feet right
in-laws, and I got
feet wide
like I got to go
feet wide
in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go
mm-hmm
in-laws, and I got and like I got to go
mm-hmm
in-laws, and I got and like I got to go
mm-hmm
in-laws, and I got and like I got to go
mm-hmm
in-laws, and I got and like I got to go
mm-hmm
in-laws, and I got and like I got to go
mm-hmm
in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go this thing in-laws, and I got this thing like I got to go in-laws, and I got this thing like I got to go this thing in-laws, and I got like I got to go this thing in-laws, and I got this thing like I got to go in-laws, and I got this thing like I got to go
Philippine
in-laws, and I got
Philippine
like I got to go
Philippine
in-laws, and I got
Philippine
like I got to go
Philippine
in-laws, and I got
Philippine
like I got to go
Philippine
in-laws, and I got
Philippine
like I got to go
Philippine
in-laws, and I got
Philippine
like I got to go
Philippine
in-laws, and I got
Okay.
like I got to go
Okay.
in-laws, and I got
Okay.
like I got to go
Okay.
in-laws, and I got
Okay.
like I got to go
Okay.
in-laws, and I got
Okay.
like I got to go
Okay.
in-laws, and I got
Okay.
like I got to go
Okay.
in-laws, and I
But
got
that's something
like I got to go
your person
in-laws, and I
but
got
that's something
like I got to go
your person
in-laws, and I
but
got
that's something
like I got to go
your person
in-laws, and I
but
got
that's something
like I got to go
your person
in-laws, and I
but
got
that's something
like I got to go
your person
in-laws, and I
but
got
that's something
like I got to go. I mean, it's been in-laws, and I got experience here. Like I got to go. I mean, it's been in-laws, and I got experience here. Like I got to go. I mean, it's been in-laws, and I got experience here. Like I got to go. I mean, it's been in-laws, and I got experience here. Like I got to go. I mean, it's been in-laws, and I got experience here. Like I got to go. I mean, it's been in-laws, and I got limit. Like I got to go in-laws, and I got like I got to go in-laws, and I got
That's it.
like I got to go
That's the life
in-laws, and I got
design
like I got to go
profession.
in-laws, and I got
Remember,
like I got to go
you want to get
in-laws, and I got
regret them
like I got to go
regret them
in-laws, and I got
regret them
like I got to go
regret them
in-laws, and I got
regret them
like I got to go
regret them
in-laws, and I got
regret them
like I got to go
regret them
in-laws, and I got
regret them
like I got to go
regret them
in-laws, and I got
regret them
like I got to go that are one laws and against that are one like I got to go that are one laws and against that are one like I got to go that are one laws and against that are one like I got to go that are one laws and against that are one like I got to go that are one laws and against that are one like I got to go that are one laws and 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 laws and